Welcome to the Live Free, Love Life podcast, where we discuss how to create more freedom so we can love our lives no matter what we're going through.
Hey there, fellow parents. Today we're diving into a game-changing book that's been rocking my world lately. It is called Good Inside by Dr. Becky Kennedy. If you are feeling trapped by outdated parenting methods, overwhelmed by your kids' big emotions, or just feel like there has to be a better way, stick around. This book might just be the key to unlocking a whole new level of freedom in your family life. Now, this isn't your typical do this, don't do that guide. It's more like having a wise, compassionate friend who gets it, who understands the mess, the chaos, and the love that comes with raising tiny humans. So before we dive into the specific shackles that Dr. Becky helps us break free from, let's talk about the core premise of Good Inside. The title isn't just catchy, it is the foundation of Dr. Becky's entire philosophy. Here is the big idea. Every child is inherently good. Yes, even when they're having a massive meltdown in the grocery store and everyone's watching, or even when they're giving you the silent treatment or saying they hate you. This isn't about excusing bad behavior. It's about recognizing that behind every challenging moment is a child who is struggling, not a child who's trying to make our lives difficult, which is sometimes what it feels like. Their behavior is a window into what's going on inside. Dr. Becky encourages us to shift from asking, how do I get my child to behave, to what does my child need right now? It's a subtle change, but trust me, it's powerful. This approach helps us see our kids as whole people with their own inner worlds rather than just their external behaviors. This book is packed with practical strategies to implement this philosophy, from setting loving boundaries to navigating sibling rivalry. But at its heart, Good Inside is about connection. It's about building relationships with our kids that are strong enough to weather any storm. And I'm pretty sure that's what we all want. So let's break down some of the major shackles that Dr. Becky helps us break free from. Shackle number 1, the perfect parent trap. Oh boy, have I been caught in this one. We've all been there, right? Feeling like every tantrum, every missed homework assignment, every picky eating phase is a direct reflection of our parenting skills or lack thereof. It's exhausting. And frankly, it's BS. Dr. Becky throws us a lifeline here. She reminds us that our kids are their own people with their own thoughts, feelings, and developmental journeys. We are not puppet masters. We're guides, and that is so much better. Okay, shackle number 2, the bad kid myth. So again, we kind of talked to this already. There is no such thing as a bad kid. I know. When your toddler is having their third meltdown of the day, or your teenager is giving you major attitude, which is what I deal with these days, it can feel hard to see the good. But Dr. Becky challenges us to shift our perspective. What if instead of seeing defiance or naughtiness, we saw a child who is struggling to communicate? What if we approach these moments with curiosity instead of frustration? It's like putting on a pair of magic glasses that suddenly makes everything clearer. Shackle number 3, the control freak conundrum. Raise your hand if you've ever tried to control every aspect of your child's life. Yeah, it doesn't work out so well. Not only does it drive us crazy, but it also doesn't do our kids any favors. Dr. Becky introduces the idea of confident leadership, setting clear boundaries with empathy. It's like building a playground with a sturdy fence. Your kids get the freedom to explore and make mistakes within a safe environment. And you get to step back and breathe. Sounds pretty good, right? Shackle number 4, the emotion police. Now, if you grew up hearing stop crying, you're fine, or it's not a big deal, you might find yourself saying these same things to your kids. I know I do. But Dr. Becky shows us a different way. She teaches us how to validate our kids' emotions without feeling like we have to fix them. This is huge. When we learn to sit with our kids' big feelings and our own, we unlock a whole new level of emotional intelligence. It's like giving our kids a superpower for life. Now, let's take a quick detour to talk about why we often show up as emotion police. Sometimes the reason we struggle to deal with our kids' big emotions is that they make us uncomfortable. Yeah, I said it. When our child is upset, our first instinct is often to make it stop. We rush to solve the problem. We offer distractions or even dismiss their feelings altogether. But here's the thing, by trying to fix their upset, we're actually sending the message that their feelings are too big, too scary, or too uncomfortable for us to handle. And if we can't handle them, how can we expect our kids to? Dr. Becky challenges us to sit with our own discomfort, to breathe through it, to show our kids that all emotions are okay, even the big, messy ones. And it's not easy, but it is so worth it. When we can hold space for our children's feelings without trying to change them, we're giving them an incredible gift, the confidence to navigate their own emotional landscape. This doesn't mean that we let our kids' emotions run the show. It is about finding the sweet spot between empathy and boundaries. We can validate their feelings while still upholding family rules. I see you're really angry right now, and it's okay to feel angry. It's not okay to hit, though. Let's find a different way to express that anger. It's a journey, and it takes practice. But as we get more comfortable with our own and our children's emotions, we unlock a new level of connection and understanding in our relationships. Shackle number 5, the comparison game. In the age of Instagram perfect families, it's so easy to fall into the comparison trap. But here's the thing, those picture perfect moments, they're just snapshots. They don't show tantrums, sleepless nights, or self-doubt. Dr. Becky reminds us that every family's journey is unique. By focusing on our own values and what works for our own individual kids, we free ourselves from the prison of perceived judgment. And let me tell you, that freedom, it feels amazing. Shackle number 6, the mistake mindset. We're all going to mess up as parents. Dr. Becky shows us that mistakes aren't failures. They are valuable opportunities for growth and connection. By modeling how to take responsibility, apologize, and make amends, we're teaching our kids one of life's most valuable skills: repair. This idea of repair frees us from the paralyzing fear of messing up. Instead of striving for perfection, which, let's face it, is impossible, we can focus on how we recover from our missteps. This approach to repair extends beyond just parent-child interactions. Dr. Becky offers insights on how to facilitate repair between siblings, fostering a home environment of accountability and forgiveness. It's about creating a family culture where it is safe to make mistakes. And that means you too, Mama. And where love isn't conditional on perfect behavior. The more you can make repairs with your kids when you screw up, the better relationships your kids will have for the rest of their lives. Shackle number 7, generational parenting patterns. One of the most powerful aspects of Good Inside is how Dr. Becky addresses the shackles of generational parenting patterns. Many of us find ourselves repeating the very behaviors we swore we would never inflict on our own children. It's like we're trapped in a cycle, unable to break free. But here's the thing, awareness is the first step to freedom. Dr. Becky encourages us to examine our own upbringing and identify the patterns we want to change. She provides tools to help us pause, reflect, and choose a different path. It is not about blaming our parents. It is about recognizing that we have the power to write a new story for our family, for our kids, for our grandkids, for our future. This aligns beautifully with our message of taking responsibility for our own happiness and growth. By breaking free from these generational patterns, we're not just changing our own lives. We are changing the trajectory of our entire family line. Now that is what I call freedom. Shackle number 8, self-criticism. Dr. Becky emphasizes the importance of self-compassion in parenting. How many times have you beaten yourself up over a parenting mistake? I know I have done it countless times. It's something I still struggle with. But Dr. Becky shows us that this self-criticism doesn't serve us or our children. Instead, she encourages us to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we'd offer a good friend, like I've told you so many times on this podcast. This self-compassion isn't just about feeling better, although that is a nice bonus. It's about modeling for our children how to treat themselves. When we show ourselves grace, we're teaching our kids to do the same. We are breaking the shackles of perfectionism and people-pleasing that so many of us have worn for far too long. Shackle number 9, expectations. So often, we have a fixed idea of who our children should be or how they should behave. But Dr. Becky encourages us to embrace our children's unique personalities, even and especially when they differ from our own. This might mean accepting that your high energy child isn't going to sit still for hours, or that your introvert needs time alone to recharge. It's about seeing and celebrating who our children truly are, not who we think they should be. This acceptance is incredibly freeing for both us and our kids. When we let go of our rigid expectations, we create space for genuine connection and understanding. We're giving our children the freedom to be themselves, which is one of the greatest gifts we can offer. And shackle number 10, societal definitions of success. In a world obsessed with achievements and milestones, it's easy to get caught up in comparing our children to others or pushing them to meet certain standards. But Good Inside encourages us to redefine success for ourselves, for our kids, for our families. Instead of focusing solely on grades, athletic achievements, or behavior, Dr. Becky urges us to prioritize our children's emotional well-being and our connection with them. This shift in perspective is incredibly freeing. It allows us to celebrate these small victories, like when our child shares their feelings or when they show empathy towards a sibling. It helps us see that a strong, secure attachment with our child is the foundation for all other successes in life. By letting go of these external measures of success, we free ourselves and our children from unnecessary pressure and stress. We create an environment where our kids feel valued for who they are, not just what they achieve. Now, I want to share some of my favorite quotes from the book. There are lots, so you're going to want to go read this book for sure. These are the real gems I find myself coming back to again and again. So quote number 1, your child is not giving you a hard time. Your child is having a hard time. Quote number 2, the goal isn't to feel happy all the time. The goal is to have access to all of your feelings and to move through them. Number 3, boundaries aren't the opposite of love. They're a function of love. Number 4, you can't hate yourself into being a better parent. Quote number 5, connection is protection. Quote 6, your triggers are invitations to heal. Number 7, empathy doesn't mean agreeing with or liking your child's feelings. It means allowing your child to have their feelings. Number 8, a child who feels seen has no need to act out to be seen. Number 9, every child is doing their best to solve a problem. Number 10, behavior is communication. Misbehavior is miscommunication. Number 11, the way we talk to our children becomes their inner voice. And number 12, your presence is more important than your perfection. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with some questions to consider, as I always do. What parenting shackles do you find yourself most trapped by? How might shifting your perspective free you from these limitations? Think about a recent challenging moment with your child. How might you approach it differently using Dr. Becky's Good Inside philosophy? In what ways do you struggle with validating your child's emotions, especially when they're different from what you think they should feel? How can you incorporate more repair moments in your family life? And what might this teach your children about relationships and resilience? Reflect on your own upbringing. What parenting patterns do you find yourself repeating, and which ones do you want to change? How can you create more moments of genuine connection with your child, even and especially during times of conflict? What boundaries in your family life feel unclear or inconsistent? How might clarifying these benefit both you and your children? Listen, parenting is hard. It's messy, it's unpredictable, and sometimes it feels like we're just winging it. But books like Good Inside remind us that we are not alone in this journey. We're all just trying to do our best, and that is more than enough. Dr. Becky's approach isn't about being a perfect parent. It's about being a present one. It's about seeing the good in our kids and ourselves, even on the toughest days. And let me tell you, when you start looking for the good, you will find it everywhere. So if you're feeling stuck in your parenting journey, give this book a read. It might just be the key to unlocking a whole new level of connection, joy, and freedom in your family life. Remember, you've got this. You're doing great. And you're exactly the parent your child needs. Live free, love life. Thank you for watching this episode of Live Free, Love Life. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, comment, and share. See you next time.